Hello and welcome to another bonus episode of Snack Break, the perfect podcast pop on while preparing your cup of tea or ideal snack or beverage. I'm Bentico Blue and I'm a bit sick at the moment, so that's why I sound a bit gross and might be coughing throughout this. But I will hopefully be coughing from excitement because today we are going to be reacting to the official trailer for The Odyssey. This is coming from Universal Pictures and it's Christopher Nolan's first movie since the behemoth that was 2023's Oppenheimer. This is taking on one of the biggest stories in all of mythology and all of human history, really. It's very difficult to think of a story that is even bigger than Homer's Odyssey, and Nolan is certainly seems to be the director to take it on. There's a bunch of big names involved. Let me just have a little look now. Now we know Matt Damon, Robbie Patts, Elliot Page, Zendaya, Mia Goth, Anne Hathaway, John Bernthal, Ben Safdie. Honestly, the list just goes on and on. It is a really, really big list of names. Very much a stacked cast, and you can tell that after the massive success that Oppenheimer was, actors are just coming out, queuing to be in a Nolan project. So without further ado, I'm just going to offer my first thoughts to Nolan's The Odyssey. Let's see how it is. I have been told you should turn up your brightness. I haven't done that yet. I think that was a joke. I presume. Ooh.
After years of war.
Oh, the costume design already looks really cool, actually.
No one could stand between my men. And home.
Tommy Holland! Oh, it already looks epic. Just the scale that Nolan's working with here, it really is massive. Oof. Oh, yep, turn the brightness up. What's even happening here? This is going to be our first look at one of the monsters, maybe. It's summer. It's just so many. It's colossal. Wow. That already looks really cool.
Promise me you will come back.
What if I can't?
Ooh. The Odyssey. There we go. You're not putting a little joke at the end there, are you? Shot entirely with IMAX cameras. Very, very exciting. And a little glimpse that my recommended there. Once again. Okay, so there's not a lot to go off there. It's not like you're reacting to a superhero trailer as we were a few weeks ago with Supergirl. There's not quite so much to be looking at there in terms of, oh, I know that from the comic. But in a way, The Odyssey is one of the greatest stories of all time. So it's fairly obvious what you're going to be getting here if you know the story of The Odyssey. I don't know it in great depth, I'm going to be entirely honest. But I'm excited to get the Nolan cut, the Nolan version, if you will. I'm very, very excited. And you can just see it's already, again, the production design there. They've really gone to town and so far already look, oh, that's just flipping cool. That's just cool. Look, that's just, I like that. We've seen bits of this in the cinema. I believe an initial teaser of it was revealed last summer. It's Nolan. He can sort of do what he likes. He's possibly the biggest director on the planet at the moment. Maybe him and Denis Villeneuve are definitely fighting it out. I'd argue Nolan's perhaps a more recognizable name. Obviously, Villeneuve has Bond going for him now, but Nolan has been working his way up to this point, and Oppenheimer showed he's a titan of industry now. He really is, and this looks like it's going to be a very different direction. It's sort of historical-ish, dealing with myth and legend. Oppenheimer is more strictly historical, of course, but yeah, this looks like I mean, it's a good trailer. Everything just... The most I can say here is it looks really, really cool. Just the productions, and look at the boat, look at that. There's just... Nolan is working on what you could argue is an unmatched scale. And it's funny that I'm even saying you could argue is an unmatched scale, because it is Nolan, and Nolan just sort of does things massive. That's sort of his whole gist. And I'm just thinking now, because Oppenheimer is obviously very big scale. You're dealing with the atomic bomb. Interstellar, you're dealing with outer space. And this looks like it is going to be something very different. We're going back to sort of medieval mythology. It does look to be very different, but already it looks like he's taking to it very, very well. Just look, that's just the way that shot, it almost looks heavenly. That's just lovely. And I think that's a very nice contrast, actually, with the sort of, dark and dinginess of the rest of the trailer. I mean, what's even happening there? Something. Hang on, let me turn my brightness up. Flippin' wow, that's very bright. My eyes hurt now. Right. Okay, still can't see what it is. Never mind. Put that brightness way back down. Thank you very much. But look, it does just look really, really cool. Other people are going to be able to analyze this in greater depth. This was really just getting something on the channel for my initial thoughts. But wow, sir, it's just, you can already see just the scale that Nolan is working on here. It looks like it will certainly be unmatched for him in terms of number and just globe-trotteriness, if you will. There's just so much going on here, and it already looks like it's going to be an epic endeavor. That is Nolan's The Odyssey. It's going to be coming out, let me double check actually, 17th of July 2026, and Matt Damon already looks to be doing, I believe that was him that we mostly saw him in the trailer there. I'm not too familiar with my names, but in terms of Greek mythology, but he is Odysseus, and it's the Odyssey, so I'm gonna guess that's him. Tom Holland, we saw a brief little clip of. I think we saw Anne Hathaway in there, who's obviously a returning Nolaneer, if you will, and it just looks really, really exciting. I'm very much looking forward to this. Those have been my super quick reaction thoughts to Nolan's The Odyssey. There wasn't much in depth there, so apologies if this has been a waste of your time, but I just wanted to get out some of my initial thoughts, because looks like it could be one of the biggest films on the planet, and next year looks to be a very, very exciting year for movies. We've got podcasts coming up about some of the biggest 2026 releases. Also this week we've had the release for Steven Spielberg's The Dish. It's no longer called The Dish, Disclosure Day, I should say. There's a bunch of, and then obviously the Marvel of it all and Star Wars and all that gist. There's so much all that jazz. There's so much going on next year in terms of film, but having a Nolan entry in there doing something very different to the rest of the cinematic landscape, I think is going to be very, very exciting. I can't wait. For now, though, I've been Medico Blue. This has been a Huncapper production. And if we don't get any other podcasts out before Christmas, although we do have a few scheduled to come out in the holiday period, let alone not before Christmas Day itself, I hope you have a very lovely day, if indeed you do celebrate. Have a very nice one. See you soon. Stay safe. I've been Medico Blue. Have a good one.